if you're going to have a free and inspired life, then you want to be with other people who plan on having a free, inspired life. This is an environment where it's impossible to do things alone. It's extremely difficult to do things alone. You want to be really good at collaborating, but you want to be really good at attracting other people who want to live a free and inspired life, who will make a choice, who will take responsibility, and will understand. Because if I want to have a free and inspired life, the only way I can do it is to help others do the same. So you want to be gathered up and grouped up and networked with people who understand they have a responsibility to help others have a free and inspired life if they're going to have one. Dealing with inflation, it gets back to having the lowest overhead and the most resilience possible.
Right.
Okay. So you've got your revenues and you've got your expenses and then you've got your assets. The revenues, you want to be something, you want to provide a service which is sufficiently valuable that even if you go into an extreme economic scenario, people find you useful.
Right.
Okay. So, we always heard the Depression stories in America. My grandfather was a doctor in Tennessee, and nobody had any money, and all of his patients paid him with food. He got eggs, he got chickens, he got, but the family ate all the way through the Depression. My father had to get pulled out of boarding school because he didn't get paid with money, so they had no cash money. But they had tons of food. The kids ate very, very well during the Depression because everybody paid with eggs and chicken, right?
Right.
So, but it was because everybody needed a doctor. He was useful. He was important. He was valued by the community. And it's funny because I have different subscribers and clients who are are nurses or doctors, and they're really, really good. And what I've told them is, the demand for your services are just going to go up. So you have to manage your practice in that, to that curve. But don't worry about what's going to happen because the society around you is always going to need you and find you useful.
That's a good way of looking at your learning plan, is assessing your real value add in a situation like that.
Right.
How can you really be of value?
Right.
When a world like the Great Depression and the years after that occurs?
One of the most interesting things that happened to me as an investment advisor was the clients who were the most nervous were the ones who had so much money that they had retired and they weren't doing anything useful for anybody else, and they were scared to death because they were entirely dependent on the financial system.
Yeah.
The key to success is never quitting. It's continuous learning, it's continuous improvement, and never quitting. And I can't, and Carolyn's seen this, I can't tell you how many times I've been in a situation that's been informed by all the smartest people that it's totally hopeless. And then you just say, well, I'm not quitting.
Right.
And then a miracle happens and something, so you never know in this world. You just never know.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at all the great successes I've seen people achieve in terms of building real wealth, you can hook up with Mr. Global and get the miracle bestowed on you. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about building real fundamental economic value that translates into wealth for you. They are hardworking, continuous learning people who never, ever, ever quit. I've never met a successful family enterprise that didn't have an amazing story of people who didn't quit through thick or thin, up and down. Some of my favorite people are in the oil patch. And it's because it's such a volatile business. One day you're a multimillionaire, the next day you're broke, the next day you're a multimillionaire. And it gives them a perspective. The money is their servant. They're not the money's servant.
Exactly.
And they know how to use money strategically as a tool to build, a piece on the monopoly board, to get a piece on to get a strategic position. And, and they're marvelous people to be with because they really understand how the world works.
Is that where there seems to be such a push to push people into a very secular or nihilistic life where they don't believe in anything higher than themselves? They don't serve anything higher than themselves. So you start to serve the money.
Right.
The materialistic.
Right. Right. And they become a servant of money instead of money as their servant.